Hi everyone, this is Emily Burgess from the Department of Commerce. It is 1:01. There are 10 attendees, so I'm going to give it about a minute before we get started in case people are just now logging on. Okay, let's get started. Thank you for coming to this little webinar where we're going to review our Balance of State Homeless System Performance Report or Rapid Rehousing Dashboard. Can you all hear me? If you can hear me okay, can you do the little raise hand thing? Oh, thank you. Okay, cool, good. So we have a smaller group today, so if you have questions throughout the webinar, you can type it into the little questions field, or you could raise your hand and we can just have a conversation. So I'm just going to go over our new Rapid Rehousing Dashboard, and I'll stop for questions periodically through the webinar. So you all have the link to the hidden Rapid Rehousing Dashboard. So hopefully you've already looked at it. I know that a lot of people looked at their data and also provided some feedback. So we've actually made some changes since we released that draft report, and I'll go over that today too. So the first part of this report, as you can see up here, there are these tabs. There's 3 parts to this report. The tab I'm on is called Rapid Rehousing Intro, and this is just basic information about rapid rehousing. It has just the definitions, the core components, and the most critical performance measures for rapid rehousing projects. This is, excuse me, this is information that's provided more for a homeless system outsider because we know that community members are looking at this report. We wanted to provide some more context so they knew what they're looking at. So that's the Rapid Rehousing intro page. Then I'm going to click to the Rapid Rehousing Dashboard where we have the actual performance data. So I'm going to go section by section through this report and then show you some features of how to use it. So let's see here. Right here, we have the total households entered, served, and exited. We're going to do this report quarterly. So as we go through the different quarters of the year, this number here is going to change, and these will be the totals for the fiscal year, federal fiscal year 18. This next one is how many households entered a rapid rehousing project, and this is for the quarter. So this is just a count of head of households with a project start date in the reporting period. The orange is head of households that are chronically homeless. So you can see here that this is for the balance of state. There were 128 head of households that are considered chronically homeless entered in a rapid rehousing project during the first quarter. This section here is the most basic housing outcome of any head of household that exited during the reporting period. Were they housed or not housed at exit? And this is only looking at households with an exit date during the reporting period. And the housed and not housed refers to their destination. How can I get rid of that highlighting thing? There we go. Okay. If you scroll down here, we have information about where the household is coming from. What was the household's living situation before entry? So we have the living situation for households that entered during the quarter categorized: unsheltered homeless, sheltered homeless, permanent housing, institutional situation, or unknown. Unsheltered homeless includes people with a living situation, place not meant for habitation, and households that said, yes, they're fleeing domestic violence. Regardless of their living situation, they're categorized as unsheltered homeless to align with the CHG prioritization requirement. Over here, we have a breakdown of the measure above. So here we have not housed and housed, and this gives you more detail about where households exited to. So it's broken down by permanent housing, temporary situation, institutional situation, sheltered homelessness, unsheltered homelessness, and unknown responses. So this is just your basic, where are people coming from and where are people going to? Are there any questions at this time?
There are no questions at this time.
Okay, thank you. So if you scroll down here, this is where I think it gets a little bit more interesting, because these are the measures that are incorporating the housing move-in date. So how many households are active in the project? So these are people that were served during the reporting period, but may have entered prior, but were still active during the reporting period. And it gives you a breakdown of where they are in the housing search and placement phase of the Rapid Rehousing program. This light blue number are people that have moved into housing, so they have a housing move-in date in HMIS, but they have not been exited. So they're in their unit, probably still receiving a rental subsidy or services of some kind. This orange is people who are active in the project but do not have a housing move-in date, so they're still in the housing search and placement part of the Rapid Rehousing project. Here, how many households moved into housing and how long did they take on average? So this is just households with a housing move-in date during the quarter. So this gives you your housing placement number for the quarter for the Rapid Rehousing projects. So in the balance of state, 709 households moved into a unit in a Rapid Rehousing project. On the average, it took 27 days. And that is a comparison of the project start date compared to the housing move-in date. Down at the bottom here, we have some more demographic and contextual information about the people who exited the project. It breaks people up into groups of housed and not housed, and then what was their age tier, and what was their income outcome, their income outcome. And if you click on the piece of the pie, it tells you a story about the age tier, the housing outcome, and the income when they exited the program. So the data that we're looking at right now is for all rapid rehousing projects in the balance of state.
And Emily, we have a question.
Oh, okay.
Is federal home TBRA dollar funded rapid rehousing projects included in this data?
Yeah, that's a good question. Yes, probably. If it is a rapid rehousing project type code in HMIS and it's in a balance of state county, then it is included in this report. So you can find more details about what exactly is included in this report if you hover over these little icons, give you more information. So this lists all the counties that are included and the reporting periods. So yes, that would be included if it is type coded as rapid rehousing.
So Melissa's asking, she's given some more clarity to her question. She's asking about the local TBRA, not the state, for entitlement recipients who are using it for homeless. We might have to have that conversation on the side, Melissa.
Well, I mean, I don't know because I don't know how the project is type coded, but if it's in HMIS and the project type code is rapid rehousing and it's in a balance of state county, it is included in this report.
Yeah,
I did not look at fund sources at all.
Okay, great.
It's all about the project type code. So it sounds like it definitely is if that's the type code of that project.
And that's it for questions for right now.
Okay, thank you. So throughout this report, you can hover over these icons to get more information about each measure, what HMIS data elements it's looking at, and how things are calculated. On this one, for example, there's more details that we couldn't list on a tooltip, so the reporting specifications are included in a handout on this webinar, and we'll also post the reporting specifications on the website. But the tooltips and these icons give you basic information about who's included in this measure. So if you have any questions about a specific measure, look there first. And then, of course, you can email me at any time if you have additional questions.
Emily, can you point out to the audience one more time where the date range for this displayed data lies on the page?
So if you go to this tooltip near the title of the report, it has the reporting periods. So right now we're in quarter one, which is October 1st, 2017 to December 31st, 2017. That's what's on the report currently. We're going to publish this quarterly with a quarter lag. So that gives everybody a chance to enter their data, and that we can just run it and we know it'll be pretty close to correct. So what's going to happen with this report is these big blocks really will become quarterly. So every quarter you'll see a new column and you'll be able to see any changes over time. So it kind of looks a little funky right now because it just includes 1 quarter's worth of data. But then we'll add a quarter 2, quarter 3, quarter 4, and you can see the changes over time for each of the measures.
That's great. Thank you.
Okay. So if this is a project level report, you can use these filters to look at just your county. If you wanted to look at all of the rapid rehousing projects in your county, you can just select your county and then click apply, and it will filter to just the rapid rehousing projects in your county. You could also look at the rapid rehousing projects in your agency by using this filter. And if you want to get down to 1 project, you would use this project filter. You can also look at outcomes by household type. Using this filter up here, we have it sort of categorized as households with children, without children, with only children, and unknown. So if you wanted to look at what were the outcomes for households with children in my county, and then compare that to my agency, you can do all of that using these filters. Just need to remember to check the apply button here. And if you want to clear the filter, let me demonstrate. Let's look at households with children. I'm going to click that, press the apply button. Now the report is going to filter to just include households with children. And if I want to go back to look at the entire balance of state, I just click this little funnel to undo the filters. So that's how you can use it to look at your county agency project in different ways. Is there any more questions on that?
There are no new questions.
Okay. So like I said, the plan is to have this available quarterly. What I think we'll do pretty soon is send out to everyone kind of a schedule of when we plan on running reports and publishing updates to this dashboard so that we're all on the same page with that. We will also be able to make changes to previous quarters when we publish the next quarter. So when we run the data for quarter 2, we will also run it for quarter 1, and you'll be able to see changes at that time if you happen to have made changes in HMIS.
And Emily, is it possible to display state average side by side a given county's data?
Not on this report.
Okay, thanks.
If you want to print out this report, you would scroll down to this little download button. Click PDF. It's already set up to print on 1 piece of paper, so you just click generate, and you could print it out with any of the filters that you've chosen. So that's the Rapid Rehousing Performance Dashboard. And now we're going to look at the data quality component of this dashboard, which is on this next tab here. And again, this dashboard has filters by county, agency, and project. So you can do the same filtering. So these are different data quality measures. unknown living situation and unknown destination are at the top. Again, the tooltips and these icons give you more information about how we calculated this and what's included and what's not included. So each block in this chart represents a response type. So blue is client refused. And then it's organized by county. And then you can see here, these are the responses. So you could look through, if your county is listed here, you could look through these blocks and see if your project is included. So these are unknown living situations and then unknown destinations. So this kind of gives you some information about what to focus on as far as HMIS data quality goes. Here we have head of households who are under 18 years of age. There were a lot more, and it looks like people have really been cleaning up their HMIS data. This is usually the result of the household being configured to where a child is the head of household. So that's just a pretty simple fix. This is households with a move-in date before an enrollment date. So this is a really important one, and it's going to be important that people pay attention to housing move-in date in HMIS. It's a newer HMIS data element, and we definitely need to work on it. So when a household enters a rapid rehousing project, their project start date is when they were admitted to or started working with the project. So they've started, they're eligible, the program is ready to work with them. That's when you enter the project start date. The housing move-in date is when they actually entered into a unit. They moved into a unit. They're still in the program. That's when you're going to start probably issuing their rental subsidies. So if you do the data entry correctly, it would be impossible for the move-in date to be before the enrollment date. So this is something that I would recommend that everybody look at. If your agency shows up here, it's probably just some easy fixes in HMIS you need to make to get the correct project start date and the correct housing move-in date. This is households without a move-in date after 1 year. So these are people who are in the Rapid Rehousing Project. They've been in the Rapid Rehousing Project for at least a year, but don't have a housing move-in date. Now, this could be true, but maybe not likely. So if it's true, that's fine. The housing search and placement process can take a long time, but these are households I would recommend that you check on and make sure that if they have moved into a unit, that you enter the housing move-in date. So this could be true, something to check on. The same goes with this one. This is households who have not exited after 3 years. So they're in the Rapid Rehousing Project and they've been in 3 years or longer. The orange are people who do not have a move-in date. So if you have orange in your county here, you should look at to see, is your project included here? Because these are people who are in your Rapid Rehousing program, do not have a housing move-in date after 3 years. So that is pretty unlikely, and if it's true, they should be prioritized for some intense housing search and assistance. So look at that, and if they have a housing move-in date, enter it. And we do know that people are in rapid rehousing programs for more than 3 years, especially, you know, HEN, for example. That's definitely a possibility, and that's fine. But if they're the orange, they don't have a housing move-in date. The blue has the housing move-in date, so that's more likely. So the orange, if you're here in the orange section, you definitely want to check on those records. This bottom one is households that have been exited the rapid rehousing project in less than 30 days. And it's broken down by not house and house, and that's looking at the destination. So we also know it's true that households can be exited in less than 30 days. So this might be accurate, and if that's accurate, it's fine. But it's also something to check on, because we know that normally it takes longer than 30 days to do the housing search and placement and the move-in. It just seems kind of unlikely that it would all happen in less than 30 days. So that's something to check on again. As far as is it the correct housing move-in date? Is it the correct entry date, exit date? And make sure that that's all accurate. Are there any questions about the data quality dashboard?
Let's see, one just came in. Is there an easy way to check and see what program your clients are in after 3 years, after 3 years and no move-in date? So is there a way to drill down to what projects are contributing to that data?
Yeah.
If you hover over the bar?
Yeah, you can hover over the bar. Like if you wanted to look at a county, you know, hover over the bars in your county and it will show you which projects are included in that. And then also you can use the filters up here if you just want to drill down to different projects to see if they show up on any of these data quality measures.
Right.
So you could select the project you wanted to look at to filter it down.
Great. And then Cassie asks, if your county is not included in any of these charts, does that mean you have 0 households who meet the criteria?
If your county is not included in any of the charts, that
sure,
would mean,
like that one at the top doesn't have all the counties in the state.
Right. So that means that if you're not on here, then there are no heads of households in rapid rehousing projects in your county that have an unknown living situation. So that would mean you have 100% known responses for living situation in your rapid rehousing projects.
Right. Thank you.
So that's good. Yeah. So, I mean,
there's no additional questions right now.
Okay. Well, then we'll be able to end quickly. I do want to say on the data quality report, the data quality dashboard, there are cases that you're not going to know, and we are aware of that. There are times when you know, when you look at destination, there are cases where you really don't know what happened. In a rapid rehousing project, it's a lot less likely that you wouldn't know the destination of the household, but it could happen. It just shouldn't be as often as we're seeing on this. So we have a lot of no exit interview completed, which seems really unlikely in a rapid rehousing project. But, you know, every once in a while, yeah, we understand that happens. So your data quality, you know, sometimes you really just can't get the data, but in a rapid rehousing project, it shouldn't be that often. So it doesn't have to be 100%. But I know we can do better than where we're at right now. And of course, that destination is really critical to the performance measures that we talked about on the Rapid Rehousing dashboard. So when we talk about data quality, I just want everybody to know that we do understand in some cases there are going to be unknown responses. In some project types, it happens more often, and that's totally reasonable. In a Rapid Rehousing project, I would think it'd be a lot less unknown destination responses. And then these ones down here, these are just, data entry mistakes that can be fixed. And at the bottom, these are things that may be accurate, but we'd suggest you check on it. So, we're reasonable about data quality.
Emily, one of our viewers is trying to find the email with the link to the report. Was that sent by you?
Yes, I sent a link, and then it also went out in the Office of Family and Adult Homelessness newsletter.
Got it. Thanks.
And if you can't find it, you can email me and I'll send you the link. So the plan is we plan to make the report final and public on Friday. I already see that people have made a lot of updates, cleaned up their data. That's great. We're going to make it live on our Tableau public site on Friday. And then in the future, when we publish the second quarter, if you've made changes to the first quarter, they'll be reflected then, and so on as we move through the year. So that is the plan, and I really appreciate those of you who jumped on this call, and also everybody who is getting really diligent about their HMIS data quality. I'm seeing a lot of improvements, so that's great. And as you all know, if you have any questions, you can email me or call me at any time. So unless there's any other questions, I'm going to go ahead and log off. Jeff, are there any more?
There aren't, Em. Looks like that's it.
Okay, cool. All right, well, thanks everyone for joining me, and I will talk to you later. Have a wonderful afternoon.